to kick it off goalie tonight?
Carter.
And any changes on D?
Same lineup.
John, you had mentioned the other night when it came to the forward lines that you like the way that even though the Toronto game they didn't score, they came back, they played really well in Buffalo. Can you be more specific about what you've liked about how things have been structured to allow them to have the success that they're having for the last 5 or 6 games now?
They just play straight ahead. It's not a scientific answer I'm going to give you. They play hard. They play straight ahead. Not a lot of east-west in the neutral zone. They give themselves a chance to play at their strength, and that's forechecking.
Is that something that they weren't doing earlier in the season, or is it more? I think you had mentioned something about simplifying things in the neutral zone, which has sort of helped them get to.
Are you talking about the fourth line still, or are
No,
you?
I'm sorry. No, all four lines.
Oh, you're talking about all 4 lines. Oh, I'm sorry. Ask the question again then.
So just what's worked that you've kept the 4 lines together the way they have for 5 or 6 games that has allowed them to have the success that maybe they weren't having a couple of weeks ago?
Well, because I think they've played simple. I think they've played. I just like the chemistry of the lines. Sometimes everybody thinks it's the offense, but I like the part of the away from the puck too. I think they feel comfortable in positioning. I think they've read off one another. We've scored some goals. Our offense has moved up a bit. Has scored a few more goals in the games, and I'm not going to change things just to change things. When we were chasing some games, I'd make a change put Kevin into more of an offensive position, taking him off of Lotz's line and with Catesy and all. But I think right through our lineup, I think we've got consistent play on both sides of the puck.
Joel Farabee has 8 points in his last 9 games. Aside, I guess, from the points, what have you noticed more in his game over the last few weeks that wasn't there earlier this season?
I think he's played with more energy, more consistently. Has working away from the puck. The puck has found him. We get, his goal. I think we make the wrong play. We bump it back. Why we're bumping it back, I don't know. We bump it back. We almost lose it. It ends up bouncing over their player's stick, and Beezer puts it in the net. A little bit of puck luck. But I think he's worked harder at his game. And I think when you work harder at the overall game, things tend to bounce your way. I think you earn your bounces. So he continues to grow.
Why do you think he has so much chemistry with this line that he's been on?
With what line?
You were just talking about like the consistency between lines. What specifically about like playing TK like brings out something more?
I'm not for Joel.
Yes.
I don't know. If you think I'm going to stand up here and tell you that I have the right reason why I put them together and this is the reason why it worked, I don't. I think we try different things when it's not going well, and then when you see that there's some comfort and there's some chemistry, for whatever reason, I don't have it, you stay with it. That's kind of my job, is to read that play or read the play of the players. So if I feel like there's some chemistry, and not just offensively but defensively too, I'm going to stay with it. If I don't, I'll change it.
Is it just chemistry, or are there certain things about their skill sets that also?
No, I don't. I'm not going to talk on that because I'm not going to try to be smart. I don't look at it that way. I just look at, as I've told you guys, it's my eyes and it's my gut. If I think it looks good and they're playing well, I'm going to stay with it. I'm not going to be one of those guys to make up an answer for you. I don't have the answer.
John, you were an assistant coach when Gretzky was probably his last 6-7 years, and now you've been a head coach for a long time with Ovi in the league. Who was tougher to defend, Gretzky or Ovi?
I have no idea, Sam. Talk about our team. I'm not going to talk about them.
Speaking to Wade Allison, do you think he's back over these last few games to where he was before the injury?
At times, yes. At times, he scores a goal, goes to the net. He scores a couple of goals by just going to the net. He makes a couple of east-west plays the last game. I'm not sure if you remember him. One's on his backhand. Why he goes to his backhand, I have no clue. One's on his forehand. I have no clue why he's going east-west. And he knows. The thing about Allie now is I think he understands where I thought I was talking about the fourth line when I originally answered, but he understands how he has to play, and that's straight ahead. And he comes to the bench the other night, and I'm not to lean on him, but to let him know when he makes the East-West plays. But he knew right away. I could tell, so I left him alone. So I think he's very conscious of staying within himself. That's so important for him because I think he can get a number of things running through that mind of his that'll take him different directions. He needs to calm himself down and just play the way that he is best beneficial to our team.
John, with Urson coming off a shutout, was it a tough decision not to go back to him? I know you really have liked his play so far.
No, he's played really well, but no, Carter's going to play.
Kind of as a follow-up to that, with Urson playing, well, obviously Carter's the number one guy, but does that play into your thinking that you should get Urson maybe more starts than you gave Felix when he was the primary backup?
Well, when we set up this thing when Sandy went down, Urson's going to play some games, and the whole schedule just worked out well. So it's not changing my thinking. It was in my thinking that Ursa was going to play some games. But Carter's our number one guy, and he's playing tonight, and Ursa will play some here before we have to figure out Sandy and all that stuff comes around.
John, to kind of Charlie's point about Wade Allison, where he's self-correcting, do you notice that with more of the guys, we're halfway through the season, are they able to self-correct and play the way you want them to play?
Yeah.
Most, a good portion of guys?
Yeah. No, and that's a big part of coaching. I think that's a huge part of my job and the other jobs. I mean, Rocky, I'm not going to tell you the situation. I thought Rocky handled himself really well in a situation where he had to make a correction on a player the other night in the bench. That's a big part of our job, and that's where I think that's where some of the conflict comes in. When players think they're evaluating themselves the right way, that's something we have to watch. And if we don't think they are, then we need to step in. It's one of the most interesting parts of the game for me because when you get in those situations with players, you're finding out what they're seeing, and you learn. And I'm not saying we're right all the time in our evaluation. You learn when they have another thought, and when you go through it with them a little bit, and you say, I didn't see it that way. And so it's a good situation to go through the evaluation process one-on-one with a player, because I think both parties get to understand one another better.